Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode of Blunt Talks. Today, I got a crazy beatdown for you guys. I'm going to tell you about the time that me and my boy started a homemade edible company. And we did some crazy stuff, man. We made some amazing products. So basically, this was going back 10 or 15 years ago. I'm not sure exactly what years this was, but this was crazy. I was on the grind at this time. I had two jobs. I was cooking at a restaurant and I was pumping gas at another place. I was doing an 8-hour shift at the restaurant, and then I would have a 2-hour gap in between, and then I would run home and eat something, and then I have to go right back to the gas station. And also I was selling weed at the same time. So me and one of my buddies came up with this idea because you couldn't really get edibles at this time. The only time that there was really edibles around is if one of your buddies had a homemade brownie, and most of the time it wasn't even done right. You might not even get you high. It was just some bootleg shit somebody did in their kitchen, you know what I mean? So it wasn't official. So I thought that it was a lucrative idea that me and my boy came up with these really good edibles, and we were gonna product and package it really nice, and that's what we did. So I had to connect for the weed. This is way before marijuana was legal. Actually, at the time, I think it was when they first legalized marijuana from medicinal in California. So this is around that time. So you weren't getting stuff in packages. It wasn't like that yet. It was just on the incline, just the industry was just really going up at this point in time. Marijuana was legal. I don't recommend anybody do the stuff that I did. I'm telling this story because I think it was a funny story, and I also tell it as a informational purpose, so people learn from the mistakes that I made and don't do what I did. So let me just get that out the way. So basically, the partnership was this. I supplied the bud. We would go 50-50 on everything, you know what I'm saying? So I would supply the bud, I would give it to him, and he would. We bought a decarboxylator off of Amazon and everything. We invested a couple $100. We bought an official decarboxylator where you just put the weed in, and it heats it up to the exact temperature where all the THC gets activated. So we did everything really, really professional. We didn't use an oven. We did everything right. So we got the carboxylator. So I would get the weed, I would give it to him, and then he would make the can of butter, and he would bake whatever we were doing. So the first idea that we had, that we were going to make these cake pops, that was the first idea that we came up with. And basically what the idea was that we were going to make these little round balls, and we were going to they were going to be like cannabis, like cake pops, but we put a stick on it, and we put some sprinkles on it, and we packaged it real nice, put a ribbon on it, made it look really, really good. So that's what we did. So I said, I was working two jobs at the time. I had no time. I was selling weed, I was working in the morning / afternoon at the restaurant, and then I was pumping gas all the way until 10 or 11 o'clock at night at the gas station. So the gas station was real laid back. Everybody smoked, the manager smoked. So the way that we had it set up, I mean, we actually both worked at the gas station. We actually worked together at the restaurant and the gas station, me and the guy that I was doing the edibles with. So the idea that we came up with was that we were gonna, because we didn't want to really give out any edibles until we tested them ourselves to make sure that they were good. You know what I mean? And that's what we did. So what we came up with was that we'll test them at the gas station. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it was laid back, everybody smoked, and who can't pump gas stoned? That's what you would think, right? So the first time we tested the cake pops, we both ate the whole thing, and bro, we got so fucking ripped, dude. It was I could barely pump gas. That's how high I was. It was just they were too strong. But we thought that they were awesome. People were gonna love them. We thought that it was we just did the best thing ever. They worked. We were amazed. So we started selling them, and right away, I had a lot of people in my Rolodex. I was already selling weed. I wasn't selling edibles, but I already had a really big customer base for flour, you know what I mean? So I just called everybody I knew and said, dude, I got edibles, let's go. But so everybody wanted them. Oh, let me get one, let me get three, let me get four. So we sold a lot. We sold them quick, man. You know what I mean? It got to the point where we couldn't really keep up. Like, we couldn't bake them fast enough. Like, that's how, like, in the beginning, that's really, it blew up really quick. Because, like I said, nobody was getting good edibles at that time. And not only did we have edibles, but we had good edibles that worked. So, you know. But the one problem that we had is that they were too strong. We were making them too strong. People were telling us that, like, they were falling asleep with their kids at home and, like, forgot to feed their kids dinner, or people couldn't drive because they just, like, kicked in so hard. So we basically, that's when we realized that we had to adjust the dose. You know, we had to adjust the dose and figure out where we can make it so they weren't so strong. So, and we already had, like, so basically at first we were just telling people to do half. So that we were giving out instructions, like we would say, here, like, here's the whole thing, da 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 da, but don't do the whole thing. It is too potent. Just do half or a quarter. And then eventually we got it right where we were making it so, like, it was like a one dose thing. You could eat the whole thing, and we adjusted it a little bit. But they were really potent. They were really potent, and people liked them. So we started with those, and then we started doing gummies. We started making gummies, and like back then, like, nobody knew about gummies. Like, nobody, it was like really rare, like, to see like cannabis infused gummies, or it just wasn't really like that yet. Like, it was coming. It was coming, like the wave, but it didn't come yet. It was on the West Coast. It didn't make it to Jersey or the East Coast yet. So we did all this research online about, you know, how we could make the gummies and, like, the process that we had to go through. And basically the process was tincture, you know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't distillate that, like I didn't know nothing about that. So the only thing that we could do, like, from home, without having like a fucking lab, you know, like a chemist lab, like at home, was to make tincture. So that's what we did. And basically tincture is, you just take a really strong alcohol like Everclear, you put it in a jar. After, you know, you decarboxylate the flour, you put it in the jar. You close it, a mason jar, you let it sit, and all the THC from the flour seeps into the liquid, and it turns it into a tincture. So that's what we did. We started making gummies, man. And dude, we got these like trays off Amazon, like, and we didn't realize, like, that the gummies were like they were bigger. They were like bigger size gummies, you know what I mean? Instead of like the little ones that you would think. So we were making like these fucking like these big ass gummies, dude. So we did that. We had, like, I think we were just selling bags or two, and like we did the same thing. We put them in bags, we packaged them really nice, tied them up with a ribbon, and we did the same thing. We tried them out at the gas station while we were pumping gas, and again, blew our fucking mind, yo. They were banging. They kicked in faster. It was a different high. Like, we thought we were the shit again. Like, it was just a home run. So we started selling them, right? Now the same thing happens, man. People, they like them, but they're like, bro, they're too strong. Oh my god, this and that. So basically, like, we just were selling them, and we were telling people, like, just eat the head. You know what I mean? Like, cut the head off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were so strong that you could take one gummy and get high off of it 3 times if you cut it, you know, into 3s. So, like, I always wonder, like, what the equivalent would be now. Like, because I know, like, you know, all these packages say, like, 500 milligrams, and, like, each gummy is, like, 25 milligrams. Like, I'm just wondering, like they had to be, like, 100 plus each. Like, I don't know what we were doing, but they were potent. So we started, you know, we did the gummies, and then we were mixing it up and doing different shit, and, you know, it was just, you know, it was really good, man. It was real lucrative for us for a while. And you know, we ended up, my boy ended up going, he was like a hiking type of person, like, so, like, he, like, planned, like, these 3-4 month trips, like, where he would go hiking, and basically, like, you know, that's what happened. Like, he went hiking, and, like, we, like, parted ways, and I couldn't do it myself, man, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of work, especially when you have 2 jobs and you're selling weed, and you know, like, you got to find time to decarboxylate flour, and make the edibles and pack it. I just didn't have the time. So basically, like when he left for his hike, I just stopped doing it. But I just thought it was a cool story that I would share with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. It was really cool, man. Like, you know, like we were like the only people like in our area that had edibles at that time, and people were really souped about it. So I just thought that was really cool that like we kind of bring that to our area before like edibles really blew up, like the legal level and all that. So listen, man, I'm Chris. This is my channel, Blunt Talks. I would like super appreciate if you guys would subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing another video. Probably the next video I do is going to be on the craziest thing I ever did to obtain cannabis. So stay tuned for that. That's another really good story, guys. Again, I'm Chris. This is my channel, Blunt Talks. Have a great day. Peace out, guys.